Country Craft Corner. How in the world are you guys doing today? It is so good to see you again, and thank you so much for stopping back by to see what I'm up to today. And what I'm up to is I'm going to be making a funky bow topper for that beautiful red lantern that you see sitting back there. I got that from Kirkland's last week and I love it. I cannot wait to work with it. So I'm going to be making a funky bow topper for today. As you can see, it sits right next to my cooktop. So I'm not going to make a swag. We don't need to have a fire hazard sitting on the kitchen counter. So I'm just going to be making a pretty simple funky bow topper. It's going to be a big funky bow. But, you know, because I think I'm going to leave this here moving forward. It's going to become one of my staple pieces in my decor. And at least for a while anyway, and I want to leave it right there. So I just want a topper, I just want something, you know, a little something to go on it. And then we will do a funky bow tutorial in this one, and then I'll just add a few things. I've got my hot glue gun plugged in here, and you know, we'll make up a pretty funky bow topper, I think. As you can see, I have it sitting out there with my KitchenAid and with Rhonda Penny's picture there in that frame, and those two things of course sit out all the time. I switch out the bowl. I got that idea from other YouTubers, so I've been switching out my bowl, and right now I have a big red one in there, so that'll pair nicely with that pretty lantern. So without further ado, let's turn this camera around and get it pointed in the right direction, and we'll start this video by doing a funky bow tutorial. I think we're going to make a 16 looper this time, so it's going to be a pretty big one. So I'll be right back when I get my camera situated. Okie dokie, I'm back. As you can see, I cut all my ribbon. I just wanted to let you know I had to cut one a little shorter because this ribbon came with a piece. I just threw it away, but it was like taped together. And I was like, hello, what in the world? So I didn't want to use that. So I had to cut one piece smaller because that's all the ribbon I had in this bolt, and I didn't want to open up another roll. Anyway, before I get started on this, I wanted to, of course, give credit where credit is due as far as the funky bow is concerned. I learned how to do the funky bow, and I'm not the creator of the funky bow. A lady named Julie Samaka at Southern Charms Wreaths is where I learned how to do the funky bow, or at least the basic concept. Yes, I have tweaked it and made it my own, you know, so, but I just wanted to give her credit. And I try to do that, and there are times when I don't and won't moving forward, but you know, when I remember, I like to give her credit. So these are the 4 different ribbons that I'm going to be using in this 16 loop funky bow. They are each, except for that one that I had to cut shorter, they are each 26 inches in length, and with a length of 26 inches of ribbon, you get 8-inch, with using a 5-inch loop. So I need 10 inches of ribbon to pull together to make a 5-inch loop. And then I'm going to have 2 8-inch tails. So that's the way I like to do them. I tweak it and I make them longer or shorter depending on what I'm making. For this, I want a pretty big statement on this lantern. So 26 inches it is. So let's get started doing this. Let me get a pipe cleaner here. You can see Chris's spiffy caddy there that he made me. Utilize this thing all the time. Okay, so all I have to do really is to fold these in half, and that is going to give me, and I'm going to measure out a 5-inch loop, which is going to give me 8-inch tails. So pinch it together, fold it in half, pinch it together at 5 inches, go to the back and twist that back ribbon around, because you want all of your ribbon going in the same direction at first anyway. They may get twisted around, and that's okay. You can either twist them back around or leave them as is. It doesn't matter, but I like to start my bow out with them all going in the right direction. So since this is going to be a 16 loop funky bow, and since 16 is an even number, this is the way I have figured out to do it for me. For even numbered bows, looped bows, I do every time I go through the pattern of ribbon, I point the ribbon in the same direction. So for the first 4 ribbons, first time through the pattern, I'm going to point the ribbon up from center. Center being my thumb. See that? And I'm going to go through the same process over and over and over again, twisting that back tail. And I am going to throw some burlap in here because I love this burlap ribbon. This is the only ribbon that is not wired in this mix of ribbon, but that said, it is very stiff and it makes into a beautiful bow. So if you are going to use a non-wired ribbon for a funky bow, and if you like your bows to kind of hold their shape, or your loops to hold their shape, always use wired ribbon, or really stiff ribbon that holds its shape without the wire. So there we go. That's the first 4 loops through the pattern. So next time we go, well, here we go with this little short one. I'm still going to do a 5-inch loop though, no matter what, excuse me, the length of the tails are. I'm going to turn it the other direction. See that? Down from center. Same thing, go to that back tail and twist. And on we go through the pattern. Now, one thing I do want to make sure, since this flag ribbon has the stars going one direction, I am going to turn it so that the stars are always pointing the same direction. So there we go. That's just my anal retentiveness. I just want the stars on go in the same direction, at least to start out with. So then, here's the next one. Again, fold it in half, point it down from center, add it in, pinch it together. I also pull my loops forward as I'm doing them. And last one. And down. There we go. And we start over again. And we're going to point up from center this time. We're going to switch directions every time we start the pattern over again. And we're going to make sure when we go to this one that the stars are going in the same direction. Twist. All right. I think you guys get the gist of how to do this, huh? Funky bows have become my very favorite bow to make. I just love it. I love how many different ways you can make a bow look just by using different ribbons and different combinations of ribbon. Okay, I'm going to speed through these last 3 or 4 here, just because you all know what I'm doing now. I'm going to point these down from center. I'll be right back when I'm ready to tie it all together. Down from center. Be right back. Alrighty. And I am ready to put this bow together. Woo, my hand is screaming at me. And it is taking up, as you can see, my whole entire length of my fingers are spread as far as I can get them. And still, they're hardly touching my fingers. So, here in the top. Anyway, get yourself a pipe cleaner and put it over the top. Wrap it around. And you're going to want to pull this pipe cleaner absolutely as tight as you can on the other side. And smush that ribbon together as tightly as you can too. Twist. Woo, there we go. Big funky bow. Then of course, the most important thing, there's one got twisted around already, is to fluff, fluff, fluff. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take some time and I'm going to fluff here and get everything going the way I want it to go and get it looking pretty much the way I want it to look. And then I'm going to put it on the lantern here, and then I'll do more tweaking once it gets on the lantern. I know I'll probably cut some of these tails down some, but I wanted them to start out longer so that I have something to work with. I'd rather have too much than not enough, you know? All right, I think I'm going to go ahead and cut up one length of ribbon to use to tie this on to the lantern. There we go. Okie dokie. First thing I want to do is start working on the inside of this lantern. So what I have here is just a black candle holder. It's kind of a plastic, but it mimics wrought iron, and as you know, I love my wrought iron, so I thought I would, and there are touches of black in this lantern too, so I thought I would just use this inside the lantern. And this is a very old, as you can see, my poor decrepit candle, very, very, very old candle. It's not one that has a timer, so I'm just going to leave it on, and when it burns out of those two AA batteries, it burns out and I'll replace them. Not a big deal. They last a while though in this, believe it or not. So I'm just going to set this straight down in there. Very simple. And then I think I'm going to put some of these little pretty red flowers up in the bow, and that's all I'm going to probably put up in there. So maybe a star or two, but pretty much I think I'm just going to use these flowers. I really don't want it to be anything over the top crazy, you know. I just want it to be something simple, just an accent lantern. So I have some of these red tufts. So I think I'm just going to simply stick them down in and around, and you know, I like them pretty much going in the same direction. They don't have to at all, and I really am not interested in all the greenery there. I really just want the red. So kind of chopping them short, you know, and just going on around the inside. It's just as an accent piece, you know, just to give a little interest. Again, nothing over the top. Something like that. Very simple. This one has a little too much stuff on it for my taste here. And just very simply nestle it in. And those flowers sit up just high enough just to give a little interest when I shut the door, you know. This would be a very pretty lantern at Christmas time. I think one of you mentioned this in my live last Friday, to build a little wintry scene in, you know, or something like that. I can really definitely see that would be beautiful in here. So there we go. First thing I'm going to do is just simply turn this over and snug this one piece of ribbon down into the pipe cleaner, and that way I can use this piece of ribbon to tie this bow onto the lantern. I'm not going to cut my pipe cleaner. Who knows if I might want to take this apart at some other time and add something to it. So there we go. Now pull this over, and I'm just going to use this part. I'm going to tie this bow right on this part of this lantern. Just put it on there just very simply like that. And I'm going to make what my mama taught me how to do years and years and years ago, a square bow, which is just take the left piece of your ribbon and put it over the right, tuck it underneath. For this purpose, I want to pull this really tight. I don't want this bow flying off of here. And then make a loop with the left piece of ribbon and take your right piece of ribbon and go over the top and around and twist it so that the right side comes out. And no, the stars are never going to work out to go the right direction, go the same direction. It just can't be done. It might be able to be done, but I can't do it. So that's all you do. And that's all I do to the back. And sometimes these come around and blend in. You are not going to be able to see the back of this. This is going to be sitting up against the backsplash in the kitchen. So I am not even going to worry about that. Here we go. Now I do dovetail the tails. There we go. Now let's turn it back around and do some quick tweaking to this bow, fluffing. As I said, I'm not going to put any, I have these stars out here, but I decided I don't even want to use these, you guys. They're really not a khaki color. They're a blue, you know, the blue matches, the red doesn't, and the white doesn't, really. I mean, yes, you could put white with cream, but I think I just would rather have it be just kind of, just the ribbon and some of these red floralies in there. And I think it's going to make a beautiful bow topper, just as is. Sometimes less is more, y'all know. Like, I'm a good one to say that, huh? Because I'm always adding more, and I know this about myself, but, you know, sometimes. I'm missing a flag. Goodness. I could sit and play with this all day. Y'all know I could. So I'm going to stop, get a drink. Arlen's Country Craft Corner. There's my little lantern. Y'all should be able to read that because it's just a regular video. Thank you, Christina. I love it. All right. Now let me gather some of these little pretty little tufts and see if I can just add a few here and there. Like I said, I don't want anything over the top, but I want to add a little something, something, you know. I've got my glue gun here plugged in. I'll give you a link for my glue gun too. Chris got me this for Christmas, and I absolutely love it. It is the best glue gun I've ever had in my life. I've had several. Trust me. Now get in there. Sometimes I just put glue on the end. It makes, sometimes that's a little easier than gluing it over here on the bow. I don't like this one. Sorry. Didn't like how that was looking. A little bit more of a tuft there, I think. something there. I can almost call this done, I'd say, you guys. Maybe one coming there. Down here. First. Thanks, Chris is giving me a thumbs up. Big time thumbs up. He's liking this one. One more, okay. See ya. He's going to lunch with some of his retirees buddies. See ya. Love ya. Be careful. See you later. I love that they get together and go to lunch every now and again. I think that's awesome. Okay, I think I'm going to stop, you guys. I'm liking this just the way it is. Of course, I've got one more. Oh, I've got my eye on one more place. Back here. Okay, and that'll be it. All right, let me get around here and look at it right from the front. Maybe there, but it's looking pretty good. Right there. Do it. Alrighty. That, my friends, is that. And I will be back in just a few minutes for some final words. Hey everyone, I'm back with the final product. Here it is. Bring it up closer to you so you can see a little closer. And then just very simply with the candle holder and the little tufts of red in there. I'm very happy with how it turned out. Super happy with how it worked out. And I'm gonna put it right back there on the counter and I will take a picture of it when I get it into place and let you guys see how it looks. I think I'm gonna be really happy making lantern topper after lantern top, bow topper after bow topper for this. It is so pretty. I love this. That'll do it for today, you guys. I'm really happy again with how this one worked out. So, you know, and I'm happy I did it in the Patriotic because I didn't want to have this just sitting around in my garage somewhere waiting to be done, you know, waiting to do something with it for fall. I wanted to do something with it that will match my decor throughout the rest of the summer. So I went ahead and went back to the Patriotic for a little bit here and did that. So, but anyway, I hope that there isn't anyone suffering today with a catastrophic illness or with chronic pain. And if you are, I hope that you have great medication and a great doctor that's helping you through each day. And I hope each day you can get through each day with feeling the very best that you can feel. You are in my thoughts and my prayers. I hope there's nothing weighing on your mind or in your heart that's pulling your attention away from where you want it to be or where it should be focused. Love y'all to bits. And with that, I'm just going to say until next time, y'all take good care. Bye-bye.